You might have seen Phelps was really taken down hard that time by a shooting linebacker, but Ledbetter had taken the handoff.
All right, this is Folks, and this guy is a good football player. Notice his stance and his technique. Gets up, makes the play. This is just one of the better football players in the country. They talk a lot about him and Sam Huff. That wasn't too shabby a guy.
Now, again, they give it upside Ledbetter. Ledbetter first down the West Virginia territory on the 40. Stopped on about the 40-yard line. And Weldon Ledbetter having a spectacular first quarter in the game today against West Virginia. 37 yards for Ledbetter thus far in 6 carries.
Beauty of the wishbone, you start to widen out there. He breaks a tackle from Agee, and then that fullback just has a field day. They move Stanley Wilson to a halfback. They got a guy by the name of Freddie Sims who plays fullback every bit as good as what you see in the game now.
It's still Wilson and Winters, the halfbacks, Ledbetter, the fullback. As Kelly Phelps sets them in motion, they give us off to Winters, trying the right side to the 35. Oklahoma now just chewing up the yardage as they punish this West Virginia defense, moving now to the 35.
Changed their defense that time to an even set with just the one linebacker, something we thought Don Nealon might do. That'll bring up second and about 5. Oklahoma hasn't thrown yet. They don't throw very much, but the one thing about the wishbone, it gives you some excellent passing opportunities. When OU throws, normally it's for the bomb, and your percentage is so great simply because people are coming up playing your man.
Got a double wing now set up, and now here goes Winters in motion, and it gives to Ledbetter. Penalty flag is thrown. There might have been a motion penalty against Oklahoma on that play. Carried down around the 32, just short of the first down markers in West Virginia territory, but I think it'll be called back on a 5-yard walk-off against Oklahoma. There's referee Vance Carlson, and let's watch the signal. Once again, request those persons sitting atop the wall. 5 yards will be against Oklahoma, so it'll be penalizing the Sooners, and it is illegal motion, so it'll remain second down, and now 10 yards to go.
Normally you would think this would be the option time, but I've seen Barry Switzer run the handback player, the second man through. You just can't ever believe what you see with him because he'll mix them up.
Well, Ledbetter is tripped up this time, and that was a great play for West Virginia. Tripped up inside, I believe. See if it was Harris. But Ledbetter that time was stopped for one of the rare times in the first quarter here today. It'll be third down, almost 10 yards to go.
This is a look at 76 Steve Williams, that is. This is Dr. Death, the professional wrestler in the summer. Had an opportunity to coach his brother. He's from Lakewood, Colorado. He'll use that wrestling ability here just a little bit. Well, it's his friend, and he says, just a minute, folks. Hold on. That's Steve, Dr. Death.
A little pushing around on Steve, folks. Here's the first pass of the game. It's complete. Down to 30. That is Winters. He has the first down inside the 20-yard line and is taken down hard around the 22. Oklahoma to the rear. Rarely goes the air, but this time it is successful.
Wasn't very fancy, Jim. All he did is run a little sprint out, and Agee isn't able to bring down Winters. Winters is a hard running back. There's no breakaway or tearaway jerseys right here, but he doesn't need them. He keeps his balance. This is a tough kid. I really like the way he runs. A very complete player. And once again, somebody is down for West Virginia. Jimmy, that's the problem when you play a powerhouse like Oklahoma. It's all you can do to win anyway, but if you walk out of here with injuries, then you're in serious trouble for your next 9 games.
Well, coming up, more top-ranked boxing on ESPN, September 16th from the Sands Hotel in Atlantic City. We'll have James Broad, who has 5 KOs, and he's undefeated through 8 fights, against Eddie Mack of Philadelphia. He's won 15 of his 22 bouts, 7 by KO. Sam Rosen and Randy Gordon will be there. That'll be Thursday, September 16th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 5:30 Pacific on ESPN.
Bad news, Jim. The best down lineman for West Virginia just limped off, and it really didn't look good. Putting no weight on the right leg at all is Todd Campbell. This is the All-American candidate, 6'2", 270, a senior, one of the better football players, not only in the East, but in the country. Well,
he was the MVP of the Peach Bowl for lineman last week. Now they give it again to Ledbetter on the slant to the right side to the 16-yard line, maybe the 15 on the motion. Phelps has really used Ledbetter. That's about the 8th time that he's carried the ball today. He's up around 40 yards so far, and they have certainly liked the spot they found in the middle of the West Virginia line, and it's thus far paid off for Barry Switzer. Of course, he'll have plenty of competition this year in the Big 8. Nebraska, another great team. Missouri usually strong. Oklahoma State better than normal, was say. Now they give it again to Ledbetter. Lining the left side inside the 10 and dives to the 7. Weldon Ledbetter has been the man so far for Oklahoma. The big fullback, 218-pounder from St. Louis with another big game.
Watch Parker and Burks off the left side. You talk about people getting the job done. This is the third-string center, Farrer in the middle. All of them get their man, do the job. You got to secure the linebacker, number 1, out of the wishbone, and they get it done. Here's the West Virginia bench. Don Nealon has done an incredible job there. 500 his first year. Took him to the Peach Bowl last year. He comes out of the tough Mid-American Conference.
Well, he played for great coach George Perry. Now the option by Phelps and the fumble and the scramble. I think Phelps got it back. Kelly Phelps tried to pitch it at the last moment to Stanley Wilson. Ball got knocked down and Phelps is able to recover.
Jimmy, you pointed out early that they do like to carry the ball with one hand so you get more things going. Here he is with one hand. Phelps can run. He turns it upfield, but he doesn't have the handle on it, loses it. But notice who gets the fumble. Phelps just scrambles like a wild man here. He wants to keep that job.
Well, that was Darrell Talley who called Mr. Outside, who had a momentary chance for it for West Virginia. It is 2nd down and 10 to go. Ledbetter to the 6. Weldon Ledbetter tracking hard on a slant just to the left side, right behind Paul Parker, who may be Oklahoma's best offensive lineman. Gave him another solid block. Did the junior from Tulsa, and it'll be 3rd down and about 6 yards to go from the West Virginia 6.
Parker was a defensive lineman as a freshman. You know, he's lost 40 pounds a year ago so that he's able to compete. He's got great strength, and one of the things that really helped him, he was a wrestler in high school, a heavyweight champ to be exact, and that body balance really helps him in firing off the line of scrimmage.
Now they got Wilson motion, and rolling now is Phelps looking for the end zone. Phelps running. He might score. He does. Touchdown for Kelly Phelps. What looked like was an option pass or run turned out to be a run indeed by Kelly Phelps.
Kelly Phelps got forced back a little deeper than he would like to throw this football, but he still is able to turn the corner. It's 97 for West Virginia, lost contained. That's Rich Walters, and Phelps pays the price at the end as he takes a pretty good shot from Greg McGowan, the strong safety.
And now is Michael Keeling to try for the 14th point for Oklahoma. Danny Bradley will hold at the 10. Snap, and he's got it, and Oklahoma, with 4 minutes and 22 seconds to go, and the first period from Norman, has opened up a 14-point lead over the West Virginia Mountaineers. Well, it's the only serious scoring threat that West Virginia's been able to mount so far. They're trailing 14-0. A little over 6 minutes to go in the first half. First down, they can still get a first down without a touchdown. Here's a fake by Hosteller rolling. Got time, fires. It is incomplete at the 2. Intended for the fullback Wolfley, incomplete on the 2-yard line. And once more, the faking of Hostetler has been able to freeze the Oklahoma defense.
Did an excellent job, Jim. Waited just a little, maybe one count too late to release the football. That's 3 passes, if you look at could-haves and should-haves, that I thought should have been completed. So now it's 2nd and 10. West Virginia, in this situation, has been running the draw because Oklahoma really lets their ears go, and they run till they hear glass. Let's see if they run the draw again.
Well, they might not have enough territory right here for the drawer. They're bound to the 10-yard line, but we'll see. Goodlow put great pressure that time. Now Ryle switches to the left. Hostetler, end zone, and it is broken up. Almost is intercepted at the 3-yard line. The ball was tipped, but it did hit the turf. Incomplete. No interception. Incomplete. Boy, it looked like Oklahoma had played a little volleyball there and come up with a turnover.
That's the old tip play. Thomas Benson is the guy who gave the underneath coverage. Thought he tipped it up so that they could have the interception. I believe it was Sanji, but it doesn't happen. Once again, this is Hostetler, transfer from Penn State. We saw him play 2 years ago against Missouri. Drops back. He's looking for his back coming out of the backfield. Little circle pat. I beg your pardon. That's a tight end route. Tip play. Thought he had it. Doesn't happen. So West Virginia has another shot.
Well, a great tip there by number 38, Thomas Benson, outstanding linebacker from Ardmore, Oklahoma. Now it is 3rd and 10, West Virginia. Oklahoma defense is stiffer in the end zone, and it is incomplete, batted down, intended for Walzheimer.
That's good defense by Oklahoma. 49, Jackie Schiff. West Virginia came out in a wide slot, and they tried to go underneath. Decision time for Don Nealon. 4th down. Do you go for the field goal? You're down 14-0. It's tough to score against these people. Looks like they will go for the field goal. Number 3 coming in. This is Paul Woodside.
Irv, there are those linebackers we talked about at the top of the telecast. Thomas Benson makes one big play by putting pressure, and then there was Jackie Shipp on the other side batting down the pass. So they're the great strength of the Oklahoma defense.
There have been so many good ones down here. Probably the best I've seen is a guy by the name of Rod Schote. And they compare Shipp and Benson, both of these guys, with Rod Schote.
Woodside now will be trying a 26-yard field goal. It's plenty long, and he's got it. And West Virginia has drawn its first score against Oklahoma with 6 minutes and 5 seconds to go in the first half. Oklahoma continues to lead, but the Mountaineers are on the boards, and it's now Sooners 14, the Mountaineers 3. West Virginia now will kick off. 6 minutes, 5 seconds to go. And the first half, 14-3 in favor of Oklahoma. Kicker for West Virginia will be Paul Woodside, sophomore from Falls Church, Virginia. And back deep, the receivers, Stanley Wilson, Alvin Ross for Oklahoma. Taken about the 5-yard line. And run out of bounds on the 25. So Oklahoma will take over about the 25 or 26-yard line. Weldon Ledbetter it was around back to kickoff on the 26. 14-3 Oklahoma. Sooners who have scored now in 180 consecutive games. That's the NCAA record. The last time they shut out was 1966. That was by Notre Dame. But that inexperienced line has not shown thus far. Now Kelly Phelps comes back in for Oklahoma. Here's Phelps running the option. Watch the one hand. Wow, he's going to pitch it out wide. Goes out of bounds. Ball actually rolled back toward the Oklahoma goal and might have lost a yard or two.
Tell you what, you got to be a shortstop every once in a while playing in Barry Switzer's offense because they kick it around pretty good. You got to love it, what you see, though, Jim, because it is a high-risk offense. It forces people to make an adjustment. I think it's a fun offense because it's very physical. Everybody gets involved, and you got to have 11 players playing 11 on 11. No room for the tender-hearted. You just can't have that type of guy playing in the wishbone. It's a good offense to watch for a fan.
Well, it's back to the 23. It'll be second down, almost 13 yards to go as Phelps again has the boundary on the left side. Now the trap play comes up the middle to his left halfback. And Stanley Wilson gets it past the 30. Stopped around the 31 or 32.
Got a good block inside from Paul Parker once again. We've been calling his name a bunch. He's just a good all-around athlete. He has lost that weight. He works hard in the weight room and makes a difference.
Well, here's a big play now for Don Neyland's West Virginia Mountaineers. It's third down for Oklahoma, and it's back in Oklahoma territory on the 36. West Virginia's not been able to stop Oklahoma and force a punt today. Let's see what they can do here. Here's a rollout, and a completion is dropped. Incomplete pass. Looked like that David Carter was wide open over there on the 45 and may have taken his eye off the ball at the last moment to look for the defender.
Well, it'll give him some heat when he comes back a little later on. Hits you in a bad place in the hands, but that happens. He just tried to look upfield. That time the defense was a 4-3. Don Neyland is an odd man front normally type of guy, but he went to the even defense when it was really sticky. Interesting.
Willie Drury is back now. Is back in as Keeling the punt. There's Drury, number 48, a sophomore from Columbus, New Jersey.
They do a good job on special teams. They've got a fine middle return. Let's see if it's on.
Off the side of his foot, a short kick taken by the up man, Reggie Armstead. And Armstead is hit down almost immediately, but he has it around the 36-yard line. That's not bad field position here for West Virginia, who were able to go down the field and score for the first time. The last time they had the football, it was a field goal, but it's now 14-3.
And where they were effective is running the draw, and they were running patterns right behind the linebackers. They seemed to guess right with Oklahoma when a stunt was coming. Let's see what they come up with now. I've been impressed with Hostetler. Throws the ball pretty good on the run. He cuts down half of the field when he does it, but he's been effective.
Well, let's see if Oklahoma goes to more blitzing here and tries to put more pressure on Jeff Hostetler, because his passing has opened things up a little bit better for West Virginia. No contact. Hostetler, short handoff to Mickey Walzak. Balzac is pounded back hard after a short gain.